Hi everybody. So Itamar, we're doing another Game of Thrones Q&A. Are you ready?
Yes.
Okay, first question. Diaz de Medina from Twitter. He wants to know if Jon is Azor Ahai, which is a possibility, who would he have to sacrifice in order to fulfill the prophecy? Because in the prophecy, Azor Ahai, the former Azor Ahai, the original, had to sacrifice.
In order to forge his Lightbringer, he had to kill Nissa. It's a good question. I see the whole Azor Ahai thing, prophecy, as like an allegory to the state of the nation, you know, as like the direction that this world is going.
Okay.
So the sacrifice will have to be like the general sacrifice, like a lot of blood, a lot of killing, a lot of beloved one that will die.
But he could sacrifice, I'm not sure if it's his own life, but maybe just, I don't know, his place in the world.
Maybe he will sacrifice Ghost.
That would be awesome. Let's go to next question, also from Twitter. What's your opinion of Euron? Do you see any historical reference?
While I saw this question, while searching for an answer, I just wrote top 10 famous pirates.
And Dread Pirate Roberts is now.
Yeah,
maybe he's the inspiration.
Yeah, so
is it conceivable?
A couple of pirates that I noticed. One is Captain Morgan, you know, from the Rum. He used to scourge the Caribbean.
Okay.
And another one is Blackbeard. So maybe he's some kind of I don't know, like a typical pirate.
What about a Viking king? Bold?
Viking king? Could be.
Okay, so next question from the writer. That's an interesting comment. He says that he sees a resemblance between the way the wildlings / free folks are being treated now that they're immigrating south, with the way Mexicans and the people from South America and Central America are being treated in the United States as they as they head north. What do you think?
Yeah, it's a recurrent theme, like immigration and
in history.
In history, it's a recurrent theme that the people are moving and they are trying to find a better place to live. He points out justly, I think, that no one leaves his house, his home, unless he has like a life-threatening something that drives him out.
Yeah, people like to stay where they are if they can.
Yeah, I almost sure that no Mexican / Central American is walking tens of thousands of kilometers or whatever just to do gardening work,
right.
You know.
Because they love gardening.
Yeah, but we maybe we'll do an episode like the theme of immigration of people in history and how it changed the society.
And talk a little bit about about what's happening in Europe. But
definitely George R. R. Martin definitely caught something there.
And he actually he wrote an essay about the Syrian refugee crisis. So he's clearly pro-immigration or whatever you want to call it.
Refugees.
Oh, refugee. Okay, another question from Twitter. Fizer Fetsak. I hope I'm pronouncing it correctly.
Fatsack?
It sounds like a bad word.
Sakshuman?
Fizer, how on earth is that laptop staying on the table and not falling? Actually, you jinxed us. The moment you asked that question, the very moment I read it, the laptop fell off. Now there are no more laptops, just paper. We'll see how it goes.
Support us in Patreon.
Okay, so Ilya888, she I think, loved your comment about Rhaegar, that he's an emo music lover.
Thank you.
Okay. Now from Kathleen Amen from Texas. She says, I love listening to y'all's accents. No.
Y'all accents?
Yeah, maybe.
I hear there's only steers and queers in Texas. She doesn't sound like queer to me. Just steer to.
Listen, anyways, she says that isn't it great that now the world is global and people from all over the world can contribute whatever to, I don't know, to the conversation, and that English doesn't rule the world anymore. And she says we should keep up the good work. So thanks, Kathleen. But actually, we have to do this channel in English, even though it would be way better in Hebrew because nobody speaks Hebrew. Nobody. Only like 6-7 million people. So English rules. Okay, this is a comment from BB Bennett. Nice name, BB Bennett. She or he would love to hear our opinion on the Syria and the whole shit fest happening over there. So BB Bennett, that's an interesting name. BB being the Prime Minister, Bennett being the Minister of Education. Your minister.
My boss.
Your boss. You report directly to him.
With a salute. Every morning.
Okay, so what do you think?
My opinion on the Syrian crisis is that it's really shit, and you really need to study the issue superficially / seriously more than what you see on the news to understand all the nuance and all the power plays.
Right.
Erdogan hates Assad, so maybe
after they were very close allies, and then
Putin, Assad is his homeboy, is his his client.
And then the Kurds.
And the Kurds, historically, they were fucked. They didn't get their own state while the British
and ISIS, who is everybody's supposed to be against ISIS, but maybe
but some buy their oil and it's very complicated. Maybe we'll do a video on that.
Yeah, if you would like to see a video about that, mention that in the comments. That would be very interesting.
Everything is connected. Israel is so far. Has been an outsider, stood on the lines, watching and wishing good luck to all sides. But it's a shit fest, and the shit will hit the fan.
And a lot of people are paying the price. It's I don't know, it's something that used to happen 100 years ago or 50 years ago. Now it happens right over here up north. Big players moving around their pieces, and the people are paying the price. Okay, so Dworkin Jones. This is a comment about our previous Q&A where you mentioned that you would like to be a God King and go back in time. Okay, that was a very funny comment. You should watch our previous Q&A. And so Dworkin says that he always suspected that I had a God complex, but Itamar, it's always the quiet ones. Let me tell you, Dworkin, he's not quiet. You don't know him. He's not quiet at all. I'm quieter than him, and I'm very chatty. Okay, so Johannes Iterdal. I think that's the second time that we take your question. He asks if you see any resemblance between Turin Stark, the king who knelt to the Targaryens, right? And Vercingetorix of the Gauls. Okay, both were considered at least somewhat barbaric, and then knelt
to protect their people. I give credit to Johannes. I haven't noticed myself, but yes, it's true.
The only difference being that Vercingetorix was tortured and killed after he knelt. He wasn't accorded the same respect that Turin Stark got after he knelt.
But his name is the king who knelt, so it's not exactly a.
But also that he didn't fight the Targaryens.
Yeah,
maybe that's why
fought
very, very hard. So they had potions,
to kill him.
Potion magique.
They have this village with the potions.
Small village surrounded by Roman forces.
Very interesting story. Check it out.
Okay, Rob Roy Rigler. Okay, that's a very interesting comment / question. He says that Robert Strong reminds him of Frankenstein. Okay, Okay, and we know that finally that at the end Frankenstein, a golem come al yotzor, that he kills the protagonist's wife and friend, and then he walks off to the north and doesn't die. But that's like the fear of technology and progress.
Yeah, the myth of the scientific revolution or the industrial revolution, like we are starting to acting as gods ourselves and trying to influence the reality, and even it was written in the start of the 19th century, if I'm not mistaken, but it's like the process of us as human beings, as creatures, trying to overcome nature and death.
And the risk.
While
doing
it's
it.
like the fear from science, the fear from our powers as gods.
It's still present today in the culture, like in the Matrix, and Terminator,
So
Dune, also a little bit maybe.
Yeah, Dune is after the fact.
Right.
And you can say even that George R. R. Martin created a monster, which is now roaming in the shape of
an HBO show.
Yeah, but HBO show that, never mind.
Yeah, never mind. I actually think that the fear of Frankenstein is actually well-founded because now progress just goes along with its own momentum. We have, as a society, no control over what progress there is. Maybe somebody's now cloning people in his basement. Or I remember a few years ago, 10 years ago maybe, when the CERN project in Europe, like the tunnel with the God particle, whatever, like a few days before they were supposed to click launch, some people started saying that could create a black hole. And then the scientists just said, no, it wouldn't create a black hole. But I remember thinking, okay, 99.99999% that it's not going to create a black hole. But how come we just find out about what you're doing now? And maybe you could next time explain beforehand what you're doing and the risks, so we could, I don't know, weigh in if we would like you to take the risk. That's like.
I don't agree.
Okay, that's it. That's all you wanted to say.
For science.
No, I couldn't disagree more.
Everything for science.
Society has to reign in science because science is not good or bad, but you instill the values you have. We as a society should say this science can do, this it cannot do. We can say that. Why not?
You can say that, but.
So that's it. Okay, thank you. I accept your apology. Rafael Perez, greetings from Pinamar, Argentina. Amen. So Rafael says, we were talking in our video about the White Walkers, the others, that they are practically a civilization. They have like their own culture. It's not just the mindless killing machines that are their zombies.
Yeah.
So he asked, do we think that they are fit to rule? Okay, they can conquer. But can they rule? What do you think? And he says maybe they remind him a little bit of the Vikings.
Yeah. They don't remind me of the Vikings. Maybe from the perspective of the victims, like this unknown force that comes.
In that way, they remind more of the Mongols.
Of the Mongols, yeah.
Like unstoppable horde that you can do nothing about but run away.
Yeah, are they fit to rule? I don't know. They seem like an extinct species, so maybe they're not.
Don't have enough manpower.
Yeah, I don't think they're fit to rule. Maybe maybe someday. Maybe sometime.
Okay. Okay, Mert Su. Is there a reference of Jewish influence in the Middle Ages in the universe of Game of Thrones? Could Varys be one of them? Varys conniving, coming from a foreign land and has a foreign accent. Maybe he thinks he lost his foreign accent, but I don't know. What do you think?
We tried to search for it to make a video about it.
Yeah, where are the Jews in the story?
Where are the Jews in Westeros? There's some people that I don't remember which from the World of Ice and Fire that do some circumcision. But in the sense of like a despised minority with a lot of superstition that lives in with the Westerosian society that you know has a purpose, a certain social purpose, like you know,
I don't think the Jews
who can hold land or
in that
something
time
like that.
played such a big role that it was crucial for him to put them in the story. I don't think that they were more in the background.
Yeah, they were more in the background.
So, I don't
Jews started to influence the European society after the French Revolution and the
Right.
emancipation
Right.
in the 19th century, and then like their natural skills, because they couldn't hold land for centuries, and they only married between themselves. So there were
They knew
some
how to
kind.
read and they were good
there's
with
culturally,
money.
yeah, culturally they were good, like they were scholars. There's something
Yeah.
scholarly in the,
Right.
the Ashkenazi
In-
culture,
in their thinking.
and
yeah.
probably there was, I think, some kind of I don't know, genetic
Whatever.
thing,
No
you
money.
know,
No money.
maybe.
Okay.
Money.
Last question from Luke Shirley. He wants to know if we are thinking of doing a podcast.
Mm.
Actually, we are thinking, but the way that we are thinking about that, the way we're thinking about it now is just, instead of doing it in a podcast format, just do a, I don't know, like a 1 hour long conversation about something, anything. We'll have to think it through. And then it's less of a compact show with a 10 minutes, 15-minute conversation, and with I don't know, less intermissions, just like a regular conversation, unedited.
I will feel much comfortable doing
Much
a-
more
much more comfortable doing. What I'm going to say is exactly to the point. When I improve my English, I will feel much more comfortable doing this.
Okay.
Podcast.
So to our patrons, I want to say thank you to our patrons for supporting our channel. That has been awesome and crucial. And right, Itamar, you wanted to say something about the patrons, about how they're helping us. You don't remember? Like, thank you, patrons. No?
I don't get it.
Thank you. You want to thank the patrons in the website for supporting our channel. No, so you say thank you, patrons.
I don't understand what you want me. You want me to thank?
Oh fuck it, we do it live! Do it live! Fuck it, we do it live!
Okay. So, okay, if you have any questions for next Q&A, please comment in the comment section, and check out our Twitter account and Facebook page. You can send us questions over there, and I think it's pretty interesting what we post over there. I don't know, like an extra layer of politics and history and funny stuff, whatever, gifs and stuff. And so subscribe to get our next videos, and we'll see you next time. Bye, everybody.
Do it live! Fucking thing sucks! That's tomorrow, and that is it for us.